What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Joystick Ayrton. Today we're talking about the absolutely colossal disaster that is the Legion GO S. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on in. This is going to be about 5 to 10 minutes at the absolute most because there's not a whole lot to talk about here. We are not one of the bigger channels to get review samples, so most of what I'm getting from is reading different people's consumer reports, reading different reviews, watching different content, ETA Prime, and so on, and coming to my own conclusions that I really have already complained about since CES, and just kind of talking a little bit about some of the parts that nobody touched on. I was going to get this device on launch day, run it through all of the different benchmarks, put it up against things, and have all of that data. I now, after seeing, just kind of having my worst fears confirmed for the most part, I don't even want to give Lenovo a one tick up on sales marks. So with that being said, what I want to talk about is why I think we're in this situation. If this was 5 years ago when the Steam Deck just launched, I think we're talking completely different about it, especially at this price point, but it's 2025. And I don't actually think Lenovo is as dumb as it appears. This should have obviously been priced differently, but I think they've backed themselves into a wall that they really can't get out of with the Z2 GO chip. And I want to talk a little bit about that. The performance is a 6800U. That's the major problem at $729.99. And there's a couple different parts about that. So one thing that I don't think ETA Prime hit on was right before his video, the sales ended at Best Buy for different devices. So that completely changes the landscape of all of these things because at that time, it was insanity to buy the Legion GO S. It still is insanity regardless of the price points, but at that time, it would have been completely and utterly brain dead. So let's talk about that. The Legion GO S with a 6800U, basically, you're looking at 32 gigs of RAM, you're looking at a 50 to 55 watt hour battery at $730. You're looking at a slightly bigger battery in the Legion GO with a much better Z1 Extreme with not as much RAM, but irrelevant for the most part on these devices, give or take, barring a certain situation. At the time, it was $550 brand new with a 512 gig hard drive. The first iteration of the ROG Ally was $449.99, brand new. Then you had the 1 terabyte Legion at $699, still cheaper than this. And then let's go up 70 bucks. Let's say we save one AAA title worth of money here. We're looking at a 24 gig, 80 watt hour battery, 1 terabyte ROG Ally. Slightly smaller screen is my only complaint there, but incredible device, probably notably the best one on the mainstream market. So with that being said, there's no point where this would make any sense at the price point. The MSI clog, go up a little bit there. You can keep that 8-inch screen, go Intel, 32 gigs of RAM, a little more expensive, but still makes more sense than this. So now I want to go in and talk about why they are in the situation that they're in and why I think that's going to impact the Steam version of this device. Okay, so I don't think Lenovo was completely brain dead. I think they had people who probably were like, hey, look, this price point is too high. There's a lot of things coming out. There's a Legion GO 2 that's scary with this price point. And there's a bunch of different things about price points. There's inflation, there's tariffs, there's sales, there's a bunch of different factors, the market, rising, falling. We're not going to talk about all of that, but there's a lot of things that factor into that. But I am sure they had a bunch of members on the team, high up executives in the department saying, hey, this is whoa, whoa, whoa. But the problem comes down to the fact that they went and commissioned AMD to build them the Z2 GO independently for Lenovo. And there's a couple different things about that. They had to do that, in my opinion, my little conspiracy theory, to have a chip that Valve would be okay shipping first-party Steam OS with. They don't want you to have a Z1 Extreme or Z2 Extreme or AI 370 that's going to absolutely crush the Steam Deck. Even if it's $200 more expensive, they don't want that. They want something relatively close where, hey, they're getting you in the door regardless of what you're doing, but they're still not losing their absolute ass on the other end. So Lenovo had to do what Lenovo did. They went to AMD and they had this product made so that they could do that. But at the exact same time, they thought, well, we can slide this into the Windows version and we can make back our profit that we may or may not make on the SteamOS model. So there's a lot still to come about those different models. There was rumors of a Z1 Extreme model. There was rumors of the $500 SteamOS one having, I believe, 16 gigs of RAM with the Z2 GO chip, and that bringing the cost down. There's no way, shape, or form it's $230 for 16 gigs of RAM and maybe a bigger hard drive and having SteamOS on it being that much cheaper. There's just, at no point in time does that make sense. You're telling me that the Windows license key is what's making that price difference in that scenario. So that just doesn't make sense. But the performance isn't there. To get the performance anywhere near where it needs to be, you need frame gen. I don't like frame gen. Frame gen is good on handhelds for certain scenarios, but for raw out performance, you can just see how much better all the Z1 Extremes, the 8840Us, the HX 370 chip, it is monumentally better. Intel's is monumentally better. This handheld is in a bad place. The Legion GO S, for all of us that are entrenched in this market, it looks bad. We're like, whoa, this is bad at this price point. And I don't even think sales are going to save this thing. But I think that's going to hinder the SteamOS side of things. Not to the sense of like you, me, and anybody who's an enthusiast in this market is going to be like, whoa, we don't want that, because we obviously do. But I think your average everyday consumer who walks into Best Buy heard, wow, the Legion GO S sucked. I'm not going to buy that one. So I think that's going to hinder them. I think this is a colossal disaster, and it'll be interesting to see how things go. I'm super excited for the SteamOS model, super excited for the Legion GO 2 as more news comes out about that. Hopefully I'll have a claw here sometime soon. So there's a lot going on, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'm really curious how everybody feels about this, because I had problems with it to begin with. Ergonomically, the device is amazing. I love the hair trigger. I love the screen. I love the size. I love the weight. I love everything about it outside of the battery and the price. Besides that, it's awesome, because for $70 more, I can get way more of a device. So 5 years ago, awesome device. Right now, wishy-washy at best. I can't imagine this does them any good, and especially with the SteamOS model coming. So with that being said, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. I normally would have this handheld. We would be doing testing with it, but we're a small channel, so we don't get review samples. And this is just one I feel like we should pass so that we can get something else cool for the channel. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.